Hey everybody, it's Jane.
And Mike.
From Earth Care Farm. We're here in Charlestown, Rhode Island, where we make compost at a large scale. We're gonna talk to you today about making compost tea, like an extract from our compost or from your compost.
In my experience, the highest and best way to amend and take care of your soils is to spread bulk compost. But not everybody has enough, and we have a lot of land that needs remediation, deficient soils. So the second best way, in my opinion, to improve and be a steward of our land is to use compost tea. A good compost tea is really different than leachate, nutrient-rich water that comes out of a manure pile or something. But Jane, as this show goes on, will explain how to make a good compost tea. Second best way to take care of your land.
We are gonna make our compost tea now, and I wanna talk a little bit about it. Normally we make this out in our tea shed, but it's cold, it's January in Rhode Island, and the microbes that we're trying to get to just really thrive need to be at 55 degrees or over in order for them to really be thriving, and it's just too cold outside. So we're here in our loft of our barn, a little bit different space that we're using. Usually we just make this in the summertime, but this is actually great for flower growers in greenhouses in the winter when it's dark and cloudy and just mold and mildew seem to thrive in those conditions, and this is the perfect way to balance that. Making your tea, the most important thing is the ingredients it's made from. Again, we're trying to really just bring about a lot of life. So the most important ingredient is gonna be making sure you have a high quality compost, because the tea needs to begin. This is where the life begins, and then we're gonna grow that life. But if it's not in here to begin with, you're kind of you're gonna have a dud compost tea. So, of course, we know our compost is awesome and high quality and full of life. I look at it regularly under the microscope. I know it has bacillus in it, so I know that this is gonna help any mildew situation there. A good compost is gonna be dark in color. It's gonna smell just earthy. It actually helps me relax. I don't know why, but it's great stuff. And it is a nice texture, not too wet, not too dry, just a perfect habitat for life to thrive. So I've put 2.5 cups of our compost in this bag. This is a handy bag I got from Tea Lab. It's a US company. I really like it because it's easy to clean. Starting your compost batch, you don't want to make sure there's no anaerobic microbes starting out in your bag or your bucket or your aerator. So I do bleach. I do a 10% bleach solution to kind of sterilize things to begin with. The bag, the bucket, that important step. The less nooks and crannies in your system, the better, the cleaner you know it's gonna be. I love this system. It just folds down and clips. Again, when I started out, I used a pantyhose. Like you use what you have, you can work your way up. There's lots of ways to do this. The next step, I have 2.5 gallons of clean water in here. The source of your water is important. You wanna make sure you don't have chlorinated water. A lot of cities have chlorinated water. You wanna start out, we have a good well water. If you don't have well water, you could collect rainwater from outside and use that. Just making sure you have a good, clean water source. I'm then gonna use azomite. Azomite's a great trace mineral. Again, we're trying to improve the efficacy of these microorganisms, so these 3 ingredients are gonna help do that. See, so I need a 1/4 cup. Okay, I'm gonna actually put that in there. Humic acid, this is just gonna be a good food source for the microbes while they're in here. It's gonna be just 2 days that we bubble this up. Just 1 teaspoon. And kelp meal. Again, it's like this is a soluble kelp meal, has amino acids, vitamins, just gonna be a nice boost. I'm going to put this top on. This is my bubbling system. So this is from Tea Lab. I've had lots of different versions. You could get a fish tank bubbler. What we need to do is, in order for those microbes to thrive, they need air. So this is the air that we're adding in there. They need the food, we've just added their food. They need moisture, clearly they've got that. So this is a tea brewer, it's got lots of holes at the bottom. Very easy to clean. You can take this apart and I can really get a brush right in there. I love that part about it. I've had more challenging ones in the past, fish tank ones. And it has this handy clip up here, which is for my compost to dangle. I've got a little clip that fits through here. Okay, so I've got to make sure everything is in. This is dangling, this is submerged in the water. This is, my bag there is in there. I'll kind of leave a little peek there so you can see. This is gonna get a little loud as I put this aerator on. Voila, brewing. So it might be fun to come take a peek. All right, so now that we've got our tea ready and bubbling, depending on the temperature of your room, that is gonna depend on the time of how long this is gonna brew for. Generally 2 days is maximum. That's what we're doing here because it's pretty chilly up here. It's about 50, 55 degrees up here. This will be a 48-hour process, but you can do this in as little as 12 hours if it's like, you know, a warm summer day when you're doing this. For spraying, we're gonna go spray this in a greenhouse. We'll show you how we do that, but there's lots of different ways. You could do this as a soil drench just with a watering can.
I've seen biodynamic farmers walk through their field just with a bucket and a paintbrush or a wallpaper brush. You know, it's like that Johnny Appleseed type of scene where you're just spreading it like that on your soil or on your plants.
Yeah, nice homeopathic spreading there.
Exactly.
I've seen it fancy where it's in people's irrigation systems, you know, drip irrigation. People use it in their like fertilizer sprayer as they drive around. There's lots of different scales to do this in.
Or giant sprayers if you have 500 acres.
Yeah, and we're just gonna do a backpack sprayer. We'll show you that next. Hi there, we're here at Robin Hollow Farm with Jenna looking at this beautiful ranunculus. Jenna, can you tell us a little bit about Robin Hollow?
Sure. We are a 4-acre flower farm in Saunderstown, Rhode Island, growing specialty cut flowers primarily for weddings and events, farmers markets, and flower subscriptions. And here in our mildly heated greenhouse, we are growing 2 different colors of ranunculus, white and yellow. And we're looking forward to a fertility boost.
Cool. It is January here in this greenhouse, and we're in New England where it's cloudy most of January, it's damp, and it's just a perfect habitat for mildews to thrive. There's actually, I don't really see any in here, so we're gonna use this more as a preventative spray, which is great to do. And I'm just gonna keep reiterating, your spray is only gonna be as good as your compost. So if what you're trying to target is not in your compost tea is not going to work. So we're trying to prevent mildews in here, so we wanna make sure we've got the bacteria that will consume mildews in our compost tea or it won't really work. Also, we're wanting a fertility boost, why not? So that's definitely gonna be brought by in this compost tea spray. So I'll show you what I have. I have a little backpack sprayer, just a solo, very simple one. I did get the nozzle with the biggest spray pattern on it just for kind of ease. Like there's lots of different nozzles that we have for this, and this one gives a nice fan. I'll give you a little example here. I love that fanning. What we're gonna be trying to do is really coating all the leaf surfaces. Perfect time to do this. You wanna do this when it's not full sun out because the microbes do like it. They're used to being in soil, so they want it dark. Ideally warm. It is a little chilly in here, but you know, we want it to be about over 50 degrees. And the other thing is, bubble your tea. When you take it off the air, you want to make sure you're using it, I like to say within 12 hours. This has only been about a half an hour. That's ideal. You know you've got really active, alive, breathing microorganisms. So that's what we're going to do here. We're spraying our ranunculus. Give it a nice bet. Mine, I have to kind of pump a lot. Again, you could do this with a watering can if you don't have a backpack sprayer. You could do it with your overhead irrigation if you have that in your high tunnel or your greenhouse. So you're just gonna go through all of these and give them a little soak. I try to get under the leaf surface as well as over, and just a little bit of the root as well. You wouldn't wanna do this right before cutting. I don't know why you would anyway, but just in case you get a little of the tea kind of staining the leaf for a minute there until you water next time. Very simple. Just takes a little while because it's a slow stream.
Awesome.
Any questions that come about as you're watching? Because I bet other people are having similar things. All
How
right.
frequently would you?
How frequently? That's great. It depends on what you have going on. This time of year, I actually like to do it like once a week because it can get cold and the microbes can go dormant.
Okay.
So I like to do it once a week as a preventative thing. But I would say monthly.
Okay.
Is normally good in a general, the spring season. Sometimes the head will clog up if there's a little bit of compost particulate. Just unscrew the end cap and rinse out there's a little screen in the end there. I don't know, it's great. Super inexpensive way to get fertility and prevent diseases or treat diseases. All right, thanks everybody.